Hi everyone, this is Henry and this is another brief video update on my prostate cancer journey. Thanks to all of you who have been following the series so far through all now nearly 7 weeks of the process of the radiotherapy treatment. And as of today, I just had my 34th radiotherapy, tomotherapy technically, treatment, number 34, which means I've only got 3 to go. And what I'm going to do is insert here into the video a photograph of the calendar that I have. It's a Commando Comics calendar, very dramatic, very kind of boyhood rah-rah sort of stuff, but I've been using this Commando Comics, that's hard to say, Commando Comics calendar to keep track of the sessions that I've had, and literally kind of as a countdown. As you can see, I've only got 1 more this week, so I'm recording this on Thursday, and I've got 1 more tomorrow on Friday, and then 1 on Monday, and the final one on Tuesday. So it's going to seem quite strange next Wednesday when I haven't got to do all that ghastly preparation and take a chunk out of my day to go and have the therapy, and then take time afterwards to recover and then see how I feel. But here we are. Yet again, many of you will probably message afterwards and say, "Wow, Henry, you're looking so well." Looks, my friend, can be deceiving, and it happens that this afternoon, I mean, the sun's been out. I actually bravely dived into a local co-op shop and got a few bits and bobs, including some little mini picnic pork pies with pickle and cheese in as a special little treat. I haven't had one of that, anything like that for yonks. So that's perked me up. Had a little sit on the balcony with Anne and kind of perk myself up, which is in stark contrast, I have to tell you, with last night and this morning. Last night, in the middle of the night, about 2 o'clock, that was the beginning of a really nasty upset tummy session, which lasted through till nearly 3 in the morning and left me, I mean, it was obviously already tired because it was time to go to bed, but left me utterly exhausted, too exhausted to get to sleep easily, if you've ever experienced that, and rather shaky and emotional. Because on Monday, hey, I had the next, I don't know if we can see it, I don't think I've got much of a lump, slight red lump there. I had my next Prostate 3 hormone injection. Wow, which will last me another 3 months. So that's kind of topped up the emotional element. I've discussed many times before in these videos how the hormone therapy suppresses your testosterone and makes you prone to all kinds of emotional episodes. So this week has been challenging. Made more challenging because, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're keeping note, that checklist of side effects that I've been having. Yes, there's the emotional stuff from the Prostate 3 hormone therapy. Then, yes, there's been the diarrhea. There's been the constant need to go for a wee. So you're getting up, particularly in the night, you're getting up like 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night. We had that, fortunately, brief episode of the kind of cystitis-like symptoms, the kind of burning sensation when I went to have a pee, or this feeling that you desperately needed a pee, but then you got there and there was nothing to come. That little thing, you will recall, got solved by the simple expedient of taking a 500 milligram paracetamol before going to bed. So fortunately, that has subsided. I have noticed a couple of what would have been potential flare-ups of that even during the day. So I've just thought, well, blooming heck, I'll just take a paracetamol, and it has worked every time. So anyone who faces this, paracetamol is your friend. And it's, one of the safer drugs. I have to put in a rider. I am not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not a pharmacist or anything of that kind. I'm just someone who's used what I've been told to use over-the-counter medication like a paracetamol, the large ones, 500 milligram strength, and they work. I presume something like old-fashioned aspirin might work, because paracetamol's kind of a modern take on aspirin, isn't it? So aspirin, Anadin, that kind of stuff. Is it in, if you're American, isn't there a brand called Advil or something like that? They would all probably work. Don't know about ibuprofen. I think they're a bit more wary about ibuprofen, because ibuprofen can upset the stomach lining. Ibuprofen is very good if you've definitely got kind of inflammation or pain or something of that kind. Kind of works very quickly, but probably there are reasons why they recommended paracetamol rather than ibuprofen under these circumstances, because that could, I suppose, aggravate something. Don't know. Anyway, just to let you know that on top of that, you know, tick, 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 yes, had all those side effects, potential side effects. Yes, they've happened to me. And this week, ladies and gentlemen, icing on the cake. Well, not really a good analogy, that, as you'll see. I woke up, I think it was Monday morning, and thought, well, that's odd. Have I something crawled into bed and bitten me between my butt cheeks, you know, near the top? Because I had this itch, and I went to scratch, and I noticed, oh, I made myself bleed. There must be and so that's my partner, because I couldn't see in the mirror. Any amount of contorting wouldn't allow me to see precisely what was going on. And I didn't want to start messing around with mirrors or pointing iPhones at my backside. Anyway, so my dear partner Anne checked out and said, oh no, don't think that looks like a bite. It looks like almost you've got some blistering on your skin. Kind of as if something's irritated it in some way. So we went and checked the literature, and sure enough, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's one of the potential side effects of radiotherapy, and the more radiotherapy sessions you've had, the more prone you are to it. And when I've, sailed past the 30 sessions mark, so hey, I get the almost full checklist. There's one thing I haven't had yet, and I really hope I don't, because also it's one of those side effects that can appear after your therapy is finished, which is actually bleeding from your backside. Haven't had that. Thank you. I'm, so far, touch wood, I haven't had that. But this skin irritation right at the top of the cleft between the buttocks, so not down near the bottom hole, right at the top. Yes, and of course that's a surprise, because you think, well, I'm lying on my back when they're doing the zapping, right? And my prostate's kind of in the centre front. So how's it happened that something round the back has flared up in this way? Well, of course, the fact is it's very easy to forget, because you're like in this tomography machine, which I showed you a photo of last time. You're lying in the middle of this giant donut, and you're facing upwards, and you forget that the thing is spinning all around you and applying the x-rays from 360 degrees. So you might think you're lying there, oh yes, maybe I'll get sunburn round about my belly button region. Haven't had that really. I've had slight hair loss. I've noticed that, slight hair loss, but nothing major. I've not had any kind of sunburn effects at the front, where your brain is telling you, oh, it's coming from there, but it's not. It's coming from all around. And of course, all the skin in your pelvic region, generally speaking, is much more sensitive than your skin almost anywhere else in your body. And the other thing is that because of our lifestyle, generally speaking, your skin is warmer and more moist. You sweat more in that part of your body, right? And the radiotherapy irritates this sensitive skin. Now, as a man, what that means is you can get skin irritation where I've got it, between the buttocks. You can get it in the scrotal region, in your groin. Fortunately, haven't had that. For a woman, if a woman's undergoing pelvic radiotherapy, obviously lady bits tend to be, generally speaking, warm and moist. Say no more, family viewing and all that. But it does mean that women in particular have to watch out for this kind of symptom. The advice I've been given is, because I've initially, obviously, it's like a blistery, spotty thing, so we put some like Savlon gel on it. And the nurse said, no, don't do that. Try to keep that part of your body cool and dry. So certainly, with the weather getting warm, I'm going to start wearing shorts over the next few days. I mean, with the weekend coming, I'll be at home anyway, so that'll be fine. I won't frighten any children. But yes, cool and dry. So yes, this is a new thing. My bottom's going to fall off. It's not painful. It's just like, oh, really? And obviously it's awkward because I can't see it. I can tell that it's there. And there are times when it does itch, and you just have to really resist the temptation to scratch, because it's something you can do very absent-mindedly. Oh, a bit of a scratch, and then you've broken the skin, made it worse, and there's potential infection. So, joy of joys. But in terms of effect on me, it's annoying, it's irritating, it's unpleasant. It's like, really, another thing. I did ask one of the nurses, I haven't got the statistics in front of me, I said, well, okay, could you explain to me, compared to, say, if I'd broken my hip and I came in and I needed an x-ray on my hip, what's the difference in the power being applied, in terms of radiation, when I lie down in that machine compared to a normal x-ray? And she said, well, let's put it this way, many thousands of times. This is why, if you're having an x-ray, the nurses can be like almost in the same room. They go behind a piece of thick glass or a lead-lined sheet or something, just for a couple of seconds. Whereas when you or any patient's having this tomography, when we close the door behind you, right, you're alone in that room. The doors are 15 inches thick and lead lined and very heavy and have to be opened and closed on, with big piston systems. And the walls are, lined with special protective stuff. That's why. It would be very serious for someone who isn't the patient to be exposed to the rays that you're getting as therapy. It's therapy. Wow, it's quite sobering. It's because the normal X-rays are measured in sieverts, is it, and millisieverts, whereas is it a Grayson scale or something they use for what I'm getting. So it's like, it's the difference between, say, being somewhere near a nuclear power station, happening to be there, or living in Cornwall with radon coming out of the ground, and standing too close to Hiroshima, right? I'm probably exaggerating, I don't know, but that's kind of the impression I get. It's like, this stuff that we're doing to you is really, really serious, and this is why you get these side effects, because the amount of penetration we get with this stuff is, it's really serious. And that's why, with the rays passing all the way through your body, this is why it has this, it's had this ghastly effect on my digestive system, it's had a ghastly effect on my bladder, and now it's having this ghastly effect on my skin. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is just intended to be a brief update, because, the fact of the matter is, I've nearly got there. I've got 3 to go. Tomorrow, Friday, and next Monday and Tuesday, and then I start to get my life back. I have been warned, as I think I mentioned here, that the side effects may continue for some time afterwards, and I'm going to mention that in a minute. But what I'm looking forward to is just having my days back, because, you know, quite apart from the side effects and the time that they can rob me of, and the energy, this is the other thing, the energy they can rob me of, it's just a practical fact that every day at about 2:15, my life stops and I have to go do the prep, euphemistically put, you know, the enema, and then drink the water, and then recover from that for a bit, and then off down to the clinic, and then get zapped and come back home and recover from that, which is at least kind of 3 hours taken out of my day, right in the middle of what would be the most productive time of my day. So I'm hoping that just having that time back is gonna restore some sense of normality. I have decided that I'm not going to suddenly leap back into full production mode. I've been told by the radiologist and by reading through the Macmillan, I must allow myself time to convalesce properly, to get my mind and body, back to some semblance of normality. So I'm going to be taking off the rest of next week. So last session on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the following week, I'm going to take a break, a proper break, which I very, very rarely do. And of course, being self-employed, I'm thinking, God, you idiot, can you afford to do that? I think I've managed to convince myself that I can't afford not to. I am, quite apart from anything else, I am so indescribably tired. Kind of beyond exhausted, and this is why with the hormone therapy as well, my emotions are like really close to the surface, and I just, as I say, I can't describe how tired I am, just so fatigued. So I'm going to force myself to take that, what is that, like 10 days or something, to just try and chill, read some books. If I get the urge, if I really feel like doing a little bit of work or something will make me feel better, then I'll do it. But I'm basically giving myself a sick note, that's how I put it. And then, because the other thing that has come as an emotional thump, which was that I think it was yesterday or the day before, I got a call from Brighton University Hospital bowel screening unit. Yes, because I can't remember, it's a couple of years ago now, when I hit 55? It might be as long ago as that. I got a letter, as most men in the country now do, saying, oh yes, come in you're going to have a colonoscopy and we're going to check you for bowel cancer and as a national screening program. And I went and had that colonoscopy, and they found a polyp. It was an extraordinary experience. I can't remember if I've talked about it, but you're drugged but still awake, and you can watch on the telly while they send this alien thing all the way up your intestines. It was fascinating, because you have to do a really, really major enema before you do that. So on the way up, it's actually sparkly clean. So it's strange, but it's not, ugh. I'm sure some people think it's because it's your own insides, but I've had it fascinating. It was a bit like, one of those scenes out of the Matrix or whatever. You're traveling around in these weird tunnels because it's got a light on. You can see, it's weird. But they found this little polyp on the side, which they snipped off using, it's a hot wire kind of thing. And sent me away, and they examined, oh, it's fine, Mr. Hyde. But having found this polyp, that puts you on we're going to check on you regularly again. And amongst everything else I've been going through, I got this call. Very nice lady. Oh, Mr. Hyde, it's time for us to, initiate your next bowel screening. I was like, really? She said, oh, why was I said, well, I'm still in the middle of my radiotherapy sessions. And well, typical large organisation, NHS, what with the COVID crisis and everything, crossed wires, miscommunications. You may recall that actually the start of my radiotherapy was delayed by a few weeks. You know, it was supposed to have started way back in, what was it, February or something, and it got delayed to June. And they hadn't been told. And she said, oh, yes, oh, gosh, no, that's far too soon. We normally leave it at least 3 months till after your radiotherapy's finished so that your side effects have had a chance to subside. So I said, oh, does that mean my side effects are likely to persist for a while? She said, oh, yes. She said, normally we wouldn't touch anyone till at least kind of 3 months after their radiotherapy because some of these side effects can, you know, drag on for quite a while afterwards. So I was like, on the one hand, relief that I'm not just going to be jumping out of the radiotherapy centre straight into having people send this thing tunnelling up my backside. Because I think that might just have broken me completely at that point. I don't think I'd be in a position to cope with that. So at least, all right, that's going to be offset, so they won't be looking at doing that to me till, where are we? It was September, October, November sort of time probably. But also, oh yes, here's the revelation. Oh yes, when you've had that many sessions of radiotherapy, oh yes, we would expect it to continue for, 2 to 3 months. So you can probably understand that was a little bit disheartening. But hey, I'm at the moment, funnily enough, I'm reading and listening to a book by Darren Brown. You know, the guy who's famous as an illusionist and what have you. He's actually a brilliant man, and he's really, really interested in psychology and philosophy and so forth, and a particular, dating back to ancient Greek times, this kind of practice called Stoicism. You know, we all know the word, oh, he's very stoical or whatever, but actually it has quite a specific kind of meaning. It's a particular kind of way of living your life and your attitude to adversity and so on and so forth. Which, might sound a bit grim and dour and all the rest, but actually it's not at all. And particularly this book by Darren Brown, I think it's called Happy, or Happiness. It's on the Kindle there, but I'm talking to you, so go and look it up. Darren Brown, it's Happiness, something like that. It's brilliant. I'm about halfway through the book. It looks at so many different aspects of life and at the way we cope with stuff and how we see ourselves and the world around us and people around us, and most importantly how we react to stuff that happens to us and how we can cope with it. Brilliant book. One of the best books. I've been reading a lot of books on psychology and stuff, philosophy, in recent months, and this is way up there because he's just a fantastic writer, hugely intelligent, very witty at times, has a brilliant way of putting things. Anyone who's seen his show on television or stage or whatever knows he is a fantastic kind of orator, and it comes out in his writing as well. Anyway, so it's just as well I've been reading that, because the thought of having, touch wood, hopefully I'll get the results in due course in a few weeks, and they'll say, oh yes, we've managed to zap your prostate cancer, Mr. Hyde, you're okay, and got it out your lymph node as well. That's what I'm obviously hoping for. But to then immediately be presented with the thought that, oh, but you might have bowel cancer, pardon my French, but fuck that. Hey ho, we soldier on, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But anyway, the news right now is, just to summarise. So yes, I've ticked a box. I've had to, oh yes, Mr. Hyde, yes, you've got that side effect as well. Well done. The skin irritation in the pelvic region. Well done. You've almost got the full set. So there's that, and However, yes, the relief I'm sure I'm going to feel when next week, I go to that last one, and it's the last time I've got to go around and sit in that blooming car park until they call me in, and then put on my scrubs and my funny anti-slip socks and me lie down on my little blue cloth thing so they can adjust me on the bench. That's going to be a huge relief. I've got to say, I'm going to miss the staff. I mean, some of the radiology staff at the Preston Park Radiology Centre have been lovely. I would say, 99% of them, you think, oh, it'd be really nice to meet them outside of that environment. They seem like really nice people. Have a drink with them, have a coffee with them. That would be really nice. It'll probably never happen. It's one of the things about life, you kind of you feel like these people are important to you in your life, and the actual amount of time you're spending with them is really quite, like today. From the moment they opened the doors to me, I went in and then came back out and sat in the car. It was 20 minutes. That's how efficient they are, right? So there was Josh the radiologist, and I think it was Emma today, Emma the nurse, who were in there kind of getting me ready and all the rest of it. You have a very brief, oh, how are you kind of chat. They shove you in the machine, you come zapped, you come back out. Josh was there, helped me to get up and get dressed, and then you go and have a pee and get changed. Cheers, guys, see you tomorrow, and it's over. But of course, these people, for however short a time you're with them, they are significant. You are in their care. They have complete power over you. These are the people loading you into the machine that, if it went wrong, could probably cook you alive. Pretty much. Powerful stuff. They're carrying a big responsibility with these multi-million-pound machines that, as long as they're working fine. But I mean, I'm sure they've probably got, multiple checks and balance systems in them. But if you think about it too hard, it can be a bit terrifying. But anyway, they've been lovely, highly professional, friendly, caring. They've always asked, "Oh, how have you been?" They've always made a point of listening to me when I've said, "Oh, well, actually, I've had a rotten night because of diarrhea or whatever, and now, with a skin irritation or whatever." They've given the right advice at the right time, like the paracetamol to take away the burning sensation when you're peeing and stuff. Highly professional, most of them really young, certainly all younger than me. I would say, I'm 59 now, and I would say that almost all of them are probably half my age or less. So young people carrying a big responsibility, highly skilled at what they do. So I'm obviously going to be grateful to them, and as I say, slightly sad that I may never see them again. In the nicest possible way. I don't ever want to see them again. Not under those circumstances. I'd like to think that I've been zapped, they've done that, and it's not going to come back again. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching again. And as always, if you're a guy, a white guy, aged 50, 55 plus, get yourself checked. Go to the doctor and ask for a PSA blood test. If you're a black guy, slightly younger, 45 plus, go and get yourself checked. Finger up your bum could save your life. Thanks, everyone. Bye.